What's up, guys? So I know I said I was gonna do some like special ranking thing, but honestly, that's gonna be kind of a pain in the ass. I wasn't ready for that yet, so probably next video, but we'll see. Plus, I was in the mood to talk about some death metal stuff. It's been a while since I've done just a standalone death metal video, so I guess you could say this is a collection update. Though some of these I've had since last year, so I guess when I get them isn't really important. But oh well. So first, if you can hear it, we're listening to some Drowning Apocalypse Unsealed. Good French death metal from the early 2000s, I believe, which sound-wise, I mean, look at the three t-shirts, you can pretty much guess what it is. So Diabolic, Morbid Angel, and Crazy, a very good combination of those three bands, so yeah. Obviously, France isn't exactly a country that's known for its death metal, but this is a good record. I haven't heard anything besides this, so if it's good, let me know, but this is awesome. So yeah, again, I feel like any of this stuff like Diabolic, Hate Eternal, Morbid Angel, Crazy, definitely very very early 90s, very early 2000s sounding, but good shit regardless, so there you go. And this came out through Bones Brigade Records, so that's cool. Alrighty, so this first one, I don't know how classic this is, but oh well. So we're going to some good old Swedish death grind. So this is General Surgery with their 1990 demo compilation. So this has Erosive Offals, Pestis Anthropophagia, and Rehearsal Demo 1993 on it. So General Surgery, if you do not know, they are a Swedish death grind band, which I know originally they were like a dismembered side project, and then I believe the drummer is also in Regurgitation, and I think he was the original drummer, so definitely some more notable bands, but yeah. So definitely one of the many bands playing on Marja Carcass. I mean, even the logo's in the shape of the Carcass font, and they even use the Carcass font, which is pretty sweet too, but yeah, man. No, for it being a demo, you'd think this would sound kind of crappy, but this actually sounds pretty good. I'm assuming this is remastered, because I would be kind of hard to believe that it sounded this good back in the day, but oh well. So anyway, there's that, obviously. And then, like I said, the logo and the name of the demos. Put out through FOAD Records, which is cool. And then, here's the insert. There's pictures from back in the day. And then just black, white, those labels, though, very simple. So yeah, man, if you like your early Carcass, like Symphonies and Week era, and you want a band paying homage to that style, but I still think they have their own sound, especially with their later full length. They definitely became like General Surgery instead of a bajillion bands playing homage to Carcass, but yeah. Good shit regardless, though, definitely an awesome demo. So there you go. General Surgery, demos, 1990. Alrighty, let's go to the US, one of my favorite Midwest death metal bands. This is Mortar Scald with As Humanity Fades. So their second full length, this came out in, I want to say 95, because I believe the debut was 92, so I think it was 95. Put out through Peaceville, this is a 2017 Peaceville reissue. So I'm glad to have their first three records now. Most of their albums are awesome. Their first three are definitely my favorite, but the last couple have been great too. So Mortar Skull, they were definitely not, like, they had faster moments, but they were definitely more like, they were closer to a band like Obituary and Baphomet than, say, like Morbid Angel or whatever. So they were definitely focused on being like heavy instead of like in your face, super extreme, but not like they were slow at all points, but you get what I mean. So they would definitely focus on being heavier instead of focus on being more like pummeling and evil sounding. Anyway, there's that. In the back, my favorite is actually their third record. It is, where This one is my favorite, which I seem to be in the minority about that. This is For All Eternity. I know people say it's kind of a letdown compared to the first two, but I definitely do not agree with that. But anyway, focusing on this one. So there's that. Then the back, again, Peaceful 2017 reissue. Here's the insert with the lyrics. This is on green wax. So man, if you like pretty heavy, just chunky, gross sounding death metal from the mid-90s, Molten Skull is definitely one of the better bands from the Midwest scene. So there you go, Molten Skull, As Humanity Fades. Alrighty, next up, let's do a, I guess you could say a more obscure one. So we're going to Finland for this next pick, because I think they're Finnish. This is Pestigor with Rotten Bowel of Pestigor. So these guys, like I said, were a Finnish band, and they were definitely one of those bands where they did like a couple random EPs or whatever, and then broke up. I don't think they ever did a proper full length, but to compare them to somebody in their scene, I would say definitely Disgrace, Grey Misery, or like the first Yasma in the demo. So definitely on kind of like the more grindy side of post, like their typical like Demigod or early Amorphous stuff. So if you like that scene or that style of your finished death, definitely one of the better like hidden gems from that scene. So anyway, this is put through Svart Records, which is sweet. So anyway, there's a front. I love the logo artwork too, pretty sweet. Then the back, Svart Records, like I said. Lyrics, or insert rather, I mean, band photo. History of the band. I have not read that yet, so don't quote me if I misspoke about them not doing the full length, but I'm pretty sure they never did. But and then on a nice purple. So, man, if you like stuff, again, if you like stuff like the Yasma demos in the first full length and Disgrace, Grey Misery, this is definitely a awesome EP slash demo that should not be ignored. Check it out. Pestigor, Rotten Bowel of Pestigor. I'm not sure if they have copies. Svart does, because I got this at my local shop a few months ago, so I guess you have to check Svart's website to still see if they still have any, but there you go. Pestigor. Let's go back to Sweden. This is God Macob with The Winter Long. So God Macob, this is definitely one of the best one-off death metal albums of the Swedish scene, like the Gourmet, The Ending Quest. But this came out in 91, 92, around there, so to me they definitely have a very kind of like not Swedish sound. I say that because they were definitely more like a little bit like heavier and slower compared to like Dismember or Grave. So to me they almost sounded closer to like your Finnish they sounded closer to your Finnish scene, like your Demigods and Convulses, than opposed to like a Dismember record. Like you wouldn't confuse this for like Everflowing Stream or whatever. So they definitely sound closer to the like thicker Finnish stuff, or even maybe like this record. But yep, I'm sure if you know your early Swedish death, it's definitely one of the better like one-off albums from that scene. So yep, I don't remember who did this originally, so I'm not gonna attempt to guess. I'll probably get that wrong. But anyway, there's the front. Love the simple artwork. Then the back. I know they were called Macabre End at the beginning, but they changed their name to God Macabre, which honestly I think Macabre End's kind of a better band name than God Macabre, but oh well. So there's that. Lyrics. And then this one's just on a black, so not gonna bother pulling that out. And this is a Hammerhead reissue. It doesn't say what year, like most of their reissues, but oh well. But yeah, man, I feel like super heavy, just awesome Swedish death metal. This is definitely one of the better known one-off death metal albums, just period. But there you go, check it out. God Macob, The Winter Long. Put these back right here. Alright, so this record was kind of a grail for me, because this was definitely a pain in the ass to find for a good price, but the like record store day, they finally reissued it, so I was stoked to get this. About time, man. DSI, Once Upon the Cross, so definitely my favorite DSI record. Honestly, a top 5 death metal album of all time, just period for me. And you could say it's like the most commercial, I guess, record of their first 3, but I still think I say it's my favorite, like the same reason The Bleeding is my favorite Cannibal Corpse record. Definitely the most like catchiest record, and I think the best songwriting on Hughes too. I mean, like every song is as if you get stuck in your head. Favorites on here probably Kill the Christian, the title track, When Satan Rules His World. I mean the intro riff and When Satan Rules His World. You have that stuck in your head for days. And when I saw them live, they played that, which is awesome. I wish they played Kill the Christian, but they did not, unfortunately. But oh well. Anyway, there's the front with the very iconic cover art. In the back, they didn't bother listing the tracks on here, which is kind of weird, but oh well. This is a Roadrunner Records / Real God Music reissue, and Roadrunner is not exactly good at keeping their old death metal albums in print. I guess they're too busy putting out Machine Head records or whatever. Oh wait. The track listing is on the inner sleeve, which is kind of odd to have it only listed on here, but oh well. So yeah, you got Once Upon the Cross, Christ Denied, When Satan Rules His World, Kill the Christians, Trick or Betrayed, The Other Children of the Underworld, Behind the Light Thou Shalt Rise, To Be Dead, and Confessional Rape. So 9 songs, and they're all bangers. Then another picture of the dead Jesus, and then this one. This doesn't really match. Not sure why they decided to go for this color, but oh well, I'm not complaining. Shit, man. I know most people would recommend the first 2, but if you're new to DSI, this I still think is the one I would pick for like a newbie, because it has their best songwriting, I think. But once you're used to this thing, go to the self-titled, I think, because Legion's honestly my least favorite of the first 3, but oh well. So there you go. DSI, What's Up on the Cross. Alrighty, so this is a good old box set, some more obscure, I think, Finnish is where this band is from. Oof. So this is Necropsy with Tomb of the Forgotten. So this has their, everything they did from 89 to 93, so you have the 1990 Curse demo. Here, I'll show you. 1990 Curse demo, another 90 demo, another World 91 demo, a split with Demigod, Go the Way of Flesh 92 demo, a promo 91, another 90 demo, an 89 demo, so a bunch of different demo stuff, and then some songs from the 7-inch. So these guys are another band from Finland. Like I said, this is a 2024 Svart reissue, which I'll show you at the back in a second. But yep, love that cover. I was watching a video of Sadistic Execution playing Epstein Extreme. They had a backdrop that looked pretty close to this, so maybe they took influence from this, I guess, for their backdrop. But this came out like after the Sadistic Intent show. But anyway. So to compare them, that's definitely like Funebrake, kind of, but I still think they have their own sound. But like I said, a lot of bands back then, you couldn't really compare them to each other despite being the same scene. They all had their own unique sound, which is what made that scene cool back in the day. But anyway, there's the front and the back with all 4 LPs, so sweet booklet too, bunch of old pictures. Jeez, the drummer looks like he's like 10 years old. What the hell? Or maybe he's 15. Wink, wink. And then I guess I'll show you the inserts too. No, not inserts, just the LPs. They're all the same color, so I'm only gonna pull out one, but I love the label rather. It's pretty sweet. Sure, man. If you want a awesome finished death metal band that did not get their due back in the day, definitely check out Necropsy. I'm not sure if there's a CD press for this. I kind of hope there is, because playing this is kind of a pain in the ass to play all four. Because I've been flipped the records like 8 different times, but oh, that's me slightly nitpicking. We have good stuff regardless, though. So Necropsy, Tomb of the Forgotten, discography, 1989 to 1993. And I'm sure some people have the OGs, so Dennis, I'm sure you probably have the OG demos of all of these, but oh well, I wasn't alive then, so I am not true Cavalt, so I do not. There you go, there's Necropsy. Alrighty, here's another classic, like Once Upon the Cross. I was glad to finally get a reissue. This is Vader with Back to the Blind. I also got the Ultimate Incantation recently too, but I think this record's a lot better, so I'm only going to talk about this one. But yeah, man, Back to the Blind. Maybe my favorite Vader record. It's hard to pick between this or Deeper Furnace. This definitely has some of the most savage moments, like the Intermost Abstinence, True Names, Cardinal, Fetus God, Distant Dream, the title track, the Red Passage. Even though as great as the riffs are, for me, the highlight on this record is definitely Doc's drumming. He went insane on this record. I mean, Day for Funness was great too, but in this point basically said, alright, hold my beer, motherfuckers, and watch this. So, yep. This is a repress from this year, Nuclear Blast, so I was definitely stoked to see this get reissued, but yep. This is a short record too. It's less than a half hour, I think. So definitely gets in, kicks your ass, and gets out. So definitely pretty sweet, which is awesome. I always love that, an album that like kicks your ass and leaves and doesn't like stay long for too long. But anyway, there's the front. The cover art's kind of weird, but oh well. And the back, guys in the band. Rest in peace, Doc. Definitely one of the best death metal drummers. At least one of my favorites. That dude was a beast. They should have used that for the painting. That would have been a lot better, but oh well. At least for the front, I mean. And then does it come with a lyric sheet? I don't remember. Yeah, it does. But I'll show you the LP first. It actually kind of matches the cover art, which is nice. So you can see. It's actually fitting, so good job Nuclear Blast for actually pressing a album that matches the cover art. I think there was also a black version available for this. I do not remember offhand, but I just saw this when I saw this available from Nuclear Blast. I jumped on it because I've been wanting this album on LP for a while. And then here is the lyric sheet with credits and all that cool stuff. Them playing live back in the day. There you go, we got the main man, Peter, Doc, Shambo, and Mashu. Obviously, only Peter's left, and Doc died of, I think, drug overdose is what he died of. I know he was like a big cocaine head and a big drinker too, but it's unfortunate. Shit, man, definitely one of Vader's best, and I think an underrated one too, but arguably my favorite. But Day Plus Funness is close. If I had to pick one, probably this, but like I said, that's a close debate. But anyway, there you go. Vader, Back to the Blind. Definitely a killer album. Alrighty, let's finish this video off. Go into Germany for some more death grind. Blood. This is Blood with Christ Bait. So they are definitely one of the more like well-respected like death grind bands that come from Germany. I say that, but I'm not very familiar with most of their discography. I've heard the first couple. Those are both really awesome. I definitely need to go back and hear the rest of them, but I've heard by people whose taste I trust that they've never done a bad record, so definitely looking forward to going further in time and further in the discography and listening to more of what they did after this. I've been meaning to do that for a while, just haven't yet. So this is a 2024 Nuclear Blast reissue. This came out in 1992 originally. Their first record was, I think, late 80s. It was like 89 or 90, around there. So that one was pretty rough sounding. So to compare to Carcass, their first one was definitely their version of Weak, and this one's definitely their version of Symphony. So like the more polished, cleaned up version, but still, the songs are still awesome. They're still super in your face and nasty sounding. But anyway, there's the front. I love their logo too. It's simple but effective. Then the back. I know they played MDF like 4 or 5 years ago. That would have been awesome to see. So hopefully they come back to the States again soon. That would be sweet. And then the lyrics. And then the thanks list or whatever. There you go. So yeah, man. Let me know which Blood album, like which later one's the best to check out. But like I said, I'll dive into it eventually soon myself. So there you go. Blood. Crash bait. Good shit. Alrighty, that's all I got for you today. So hopefully you found some new shit. But like I said, these were all classics, which was kind of the point of this video anyway. But oh well. I'll try to do my ranking next time. But like I said, it's going to be quite the undertaking. But we shall see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Hails.